Boruto episode 49, Namida and Wasabi. Or Wasabi and Namida. Whichever one. It's those two characters that no one really cares about. Filler episode again. Like I said with my last review, sorry this one's late again by the way. But just like I said with my last one, I was like, I was pleasantly surprised by that last episode. I was like, okay, this one kind of hit me where I was like, all right, it's a pretty decent story. We got some surprisingly good stuff with both Naruto and Shikamaru, where we got to see them kind of being more like their original selves. We got a pretty great lesson for Iwabe and just his team in general, learning to fight through adversity, fight through failure, and get better. You know, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Simple life lesson directed towards the characters, some nice little moments in there as well, a little bit of nostalgia. And I was like, I just don't see, this episode being as good as that one. And I said it in the last review. And seeing it definitely was not nearly as good as that last episode. Definitely had, once again, another crazy jutsu name coming up. And I was just like, they could have called that anything. They're just tying it to random stuff now. Which I thought was so weird. I was like, okay, she unlocked it because she cried. But I honestly would have just assumed, oh, that's just her jutsu. I think, I forgot what it was even called. It was like a really long name to me. It was like calling upon tears jutsu or something. It sounded so dumb to me. I was like, that's just a terrible name. I get that she unlocked it with the scream, but it was just like, why not just call it something else? It's clearly she didn't actually have to cry. It wasn't like in the last episode where he actually made snot come out of his nose. Still gross. But she just screamed. She didn't start crying and then scream. She just naturally screamed. So it's like, it's totally just like an amplification jutsu. It's just a wailing scream that she has an ability with her vocal cords. And it's like, that's just a terrible name. It's not even actually tied to her crying like it was before. It's just, she can just scream and do it. So I thought it was weird title. But going through the episode, we did get some cool stuff. I will admit that the action wasn't the worst, even though it wasn't really like action. It was more like chase action. It was like an action movie. Where they don't really have the big conflict. It's like these characters, these actors can't really fight, so we're just gonna have them drive really fast. It was kind of like that. So we had Wasabi, using her cloaks and stuff, which I thought was cool. We find out that she actually has 3 different cloaks, and we see her use. I believe it was the one that she used before at first. Like it was just kind of her normal one. So I assume that there's speed, strength, and then kind of the middle ground is. That's just what I'm assuming. So. Excuse me. I thought that was actually kind of a cool concept. I was like, oh, okay, she has 3 different things, and like one was like a Siamese cat, one was a tortoiseshell cat, and I forgot what the other one was, but 3 different styles for 3 different types. And I was like, that's actually kind of cool. I thought that was a cool idea, just a little thing to see there. And I was like, all right, that's pretty sweet. And they also had the different colors because the regular one was blue, the speed one, if I remember right, was kind of like an orange sort of color. So it's like, all right, that's kind of a cool little thing there. We saw somebody use Nue again, so that's kind of obvious. Like I think we all knew that was going to happen, and we do get to see Namida actually use her abilities as well with the calling upon tears jutsu. So I was like, okay, got to see a little bit there. Nue doing this, tiny little Nue thing, saying his name like he's a Pokemon and stuff. And he hops on. He has the little tails come out, and he's trying to suck the chakra out of the I forgot what it was called. It was like the giant gray maned wolf or whatever it was, which was like the sweetest looking thing. Like they show it because I thought it was gonna be like a big crazy looking bear, and then it was like this wolf with like it was almost like a wolf mixed with a lion as far as design, because it had like the big tuft of black, and then it had like a black streak through the middle. I was like, that's actually like the coolest looking thing in the whole episode. It was like, that's a really sweet design. I think it's called a great maned wolf. I think that's what it was. And I was like, that's just super sweet. It was just, black and white wolf, and I thought it looked awesome. So definitely love the aesthetic for that. The action, like I said, was definitely like car chase movie action. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. Nothing insanely intense or anything like that. And of course, ultimately they made it through. No big deal. Wasabi puts, paper bombs on the wolf, which I don't know why she couldn't just activate them herself. Because they have like 100 million things to do, but they had to work as a team, so it makes sense. But Namida uses her scream, and that sets them all off, and they beat the wolf. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And that was pretty much the episode. Assuming was freaking out about Nue and revealing the truth to her friends, and they even have Sai kind of talk about that with Hanabi, which I thought was pretty cool, because I didn't mention that my last review with the promo. I was like, oh, I didn't expect Hanabi to be anybody sensei, so she ends up she's the leader of that team, which I want to say is 15. So they have a conversation. It's like, should we, she was worried, like, should I talk to Wasabi and Nabida about, um, what happened? Should I tell them about the truth? And so I was like, well, kind of just let things play out as they are. We'll, keep an eye on her and everything like that. And of course, by the end, somebody uses it and tells her friends, and they're like, yeah, we knew. We just figured you'd tell us. Emotional rallying moment, everything's perfect. And then Abby's like, guess she'll be totally fine. And that was really the episode. There's not that much to really talk about. Sumini can knit because she made like the weird scent masking masks and stuff like that. So she was a rabbit. Wasabi was a cat. And then Namida was like the angry blue penguin, which was my favorite because I was just like, yeah, I'd actually wear that just to do something stupid. That looks cool. But yeah, they caught a bunch of the animals. They had, the animal chasing thing. The monkey was really funny because, like, even in the beginning, it was like, obviously that's like a monkey's hand, like stealing the keys and letting all the animals free is just like a mischievous monkey. So I was like, all right, silly little thing there, no big deal. But ultimately, it was just a simple filler. It was really a simple filler episode. Like, it did not have even the heart of the last one, because we've had this episode with the main characters. Like, when they first got their teams, the whole point of that episode was Boruto and Sadara being like, well, it was basically instantly going from, do we work as a team, to we do not want to be on the same team. And that was it. Like, it was that story, just more intense. And then this story, is the same thing here, except it was just a much simpler version of it, where they weren't necessarily trying to push against the grain. They just naturally were. They were just having normal human issues of like, oh man, it's just, and it was not like they were even wondering if they worked. It was just like they just had an argument. It wasn't even as grand as, we don't want to be a team, or we won't ever be a team again. They didn't even say stuff like that. It was just, she annoys me when she cries, and then she cried, and then she left, and they were kind of mad at each other. And that was really it. And then it worked, because they had to fight, and then they did. And it was like, okay, that was simpler than the other story we had, which was way cooler. Not just because it was the main characters, but it was just more entertaining. Plus, the action in that was better as an episode. But yeah, this is definitely one of those filler episodes where it was like, cool, saw it once, don't need to see it twice. The Iwabe thing in the last episode, like I said, that surprisingly had heart to it. And having those moments where, even at the end, Naruto's the one saying like, you're kind of cool for failing, but constantly trying, because that's what I did. Look where I am. So there was like a ton of surprise heart, by the end of that episode, that this just did not have. It was just like, all right, they argued, and then they totally solved the problem. It was a mysterious issue with the Sumidi thing in New Way, which I thought was weird, because I thought she revealed that to everyone. When we found out that New Way was still a thing, I thought everyone found out, and that it's been a while since that episode. That was actually a little minute ago, but I thought everyone knew that she did that, and it was a reveal to us and to the character. So it kind of, I was like, oh, I thought everyone already knew that, that was the thing, and that was like the whole point of her still being there. I thought everyone knew that she'd done that bad thing. So I guess it just like totally slipped my mind. None of the kids actually knew that except for Boruto and Mitsuki. I just assumed literally everyone knew that, because it's like she almost wiped out the whole village. I thought it was like a big deal. I thought all the students knew that that was a thing, and that she was allowed to even, still be there. I thought that was just common knowledge at that point. So I guess I just forgot that they never told anybody that. And then, the second time when we find out that New Way is still alive, that wasn't revealed to everybody as well. I was like, I just could have sworn everyone knew that super long time ago. But it's like, okay, still a little issue, which of course was nothing. But it was just, it was what it was. Simple filler episode, had some cool stuff. I love that wolf. Just looks so sweet. I hope that wolf shows up at random. I like the wolf more than anything else in this whole episode, just because of the design. But yeah, simple little episode. I was about to say next week again, but tomorrow's episode, unfortunately, is yet another filler. But I think this one I'm actually looking forward to, because it's the adults, and we get to see everyone talk about, am I going to submit my team to actually be a part of the tuning exam. So I'm actually looking forward to that, solely based on the fact that it's the adult characters talking in a more adult fashion. It's not them with the kids. It's them. We see Konohamaru even in the promo, he's drinking, like his face is completely red. And I was like, well, that's actually kind of cool to see, like Konohamaru is drinking. So it was like, all right, I'm excited for this next episode. We got Konohamaru, Hanabi. Shino's going to be there as, obviously the main teacher. I don't know if Anko will show up. I mean, I feel like she's really done. She's a lot like the original series. Like she's in there, but it's like, what does she really do? She's technically one of the teachers. The most she had was during the tuning, or not the tuning, but when they were training to become Guinea, or during that test. That was the most she really had, and before that, it was like, oh, she's there, but we never see her like in the classes or anything like that. And based on this series, they almost make it seem like the characters we've seen are the only kids becoming ninjas, but they have shown other classes before, so maybe that's who she teaches. But I am actually looking forward to this next episode. It could, I obviously it'll be a filler, but I am excited. I'm like, all right, we'll see the adults talking. We'll see how this plays out. Maybe we'll get, like those flashbacks. We'll see other missions from the teams that they haven't, shown us through the filler episodes. We'll get like little glimpses, like, yeah, this mission went totally well with this, but then it went horribly here, and so we'll see the kids messing up in other ways or doing cool stuff and new ways that we haven't seen. That I think would, the episode has great potential to do that. But we ultimately just have to wait to see. But I'm looking forward to it because, like I said, it's all the adults kind of coming together and kind of doing their thing. They're out drinking and just being like, man, what teams are we going to submit? Even though obviously we know some of the teams, especially if you saw the Boruto movie. Or heck, just watching the show, you probably know which teams are definitely going to be going in. But surprisingly, I'm looking forward to it. I won't say surprisingly looking forward to it. It seems like it'll legitimately be a cool episode, but who knows? Fillers are fillers. You get 2 weeks ago, the last episode. You get the last episode, surprise hit. I was like, man, I actually kind of love that episode with Iwabe and the lessons that they learned. And then this episode, filler episode. Okay, they did some stuff here. Cool design on that wolf. Love that wolf. And then the problems that they had were not actually problems, which I knew they would not be. So, all right. So we'll see what happens with this next one. But I do want to know what you guys thought about this one. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, at least favorite parts about it. There's not much with this episode. So I'll just ask you guys, what do you hope to see in the next episode? Like with all the adults coming together, all the senseis, all the teachers coming together to say which of our teams are we going to submit for the tuning exams, or which ones do we believe should be in the tuning exams? What do you want to see from that? Do you want to see like the little snippet flashbacks? Do you just want it to be the adults talking? Because I feel like they kind of have to do flashbacks. They kind of mention Boruto like every time something goes wrong, it's Boruto. I'm hoping that we get flashbacks that are technically new for us. I'm hoping they don't do the generic anime thing where it's like, yeah, I know that happened. That was like 10 episodes back. Some stuff I'm going to remember, especially if it's Boruto doing it, the main character. So I'm hoping the flashbacks are actually new content for us, if they do flashbacks at all. But like I said, I just want to know what you guys want to see from it and what you think we'll even see. And like I said, definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.